Yesterday we have discussed in detail that how we analyze the overtaking side distance, and in the analysis we saw that it is nothing but the distances, the overtaking side distance that we have divided into three sections, namely D1, D2 and D3. So how to calculate those values of D1, D2 and D3, and then what's the formula. So what we had seen yesterday is this D1, then D2, and then D3. Subsequently, we had small formulas, not much of a complex calculation involved. So D1 was nothing but VB into T, small t, the reaction time. D2 is 2S plus VB into capital T, that is the overtaking time. And that overtaking time, it can be written as under root 4S upon A. And the last component, D3, which is in the case of the oncoming vehicle. So in that, D3 is equal to design speed V into capital T. And OSD is nothing but the addition of all these three terms. And then so we'll start from here today. So we all know OSD is now D1 plus D2 plus D3. And D1 we have this formula D2 2S plus VB into T. And that S is nothing but the spacing between the vehicles following and the vehicle which is ahead. So for that we have an empirical formula 0.7 VB plus 6, and for this T overtaking time we have a formula under root 4S upon A, where A is the acceleration of that overtaking vehicle, and for D3 we have design speed into overtaking time. Now all these formulas, they are, if you see the dimensions for the quantities in the formula, so speed is in meter per second in all these formulas, acceleration is in meter per second square, and whatever distances we get, distances as in the D1, D2, D3 and the S value, those are obtained in meters. But now we know that for the numerical purpose, if you see, most of the numericals, the values are given in kmph. So if you want to just convert these formulas so that you can directly input the value of speed as, or value of speed in kmph, so simply you have to apply the factors of kmph to meter per second. So D1, it will be 0.28 VB into T. D2 will be 2S plus 0.28 VB into T. And S will be 0.196 VB into T. So I have just multiplied everywhere, wherever there was small v or small VB. So I have multiplied it with the factor of conversion of 5 by 18. And in case of this T, now acceleration here in this formula above, it was in meter per second square, but now here the acceleration, it is in kmph, kilometer per hour per second. So for that, the conversion factor of 3.6 that we divide to the acceleration, it will go in the numerator and it will be 4 into 14.4. 4 into 4.4 into 3.6. So that will come that 14.4. So this is the formula if you are using the A value in kmph per second. And D3, it is 0.28 into V into T. Okay, so all these formulas, the speed is in kmph, the acceleration is in kmph per seconds. Okay, it's not in kilometer per hour square, but it's kmph per second. And again, the distances whatever are obtained, the D1, D2, D3 and S values, those will be in meter as it is. They will not change into kilometer because we have applied the factors of conversion in the formula itself. Now, one thing to note, that is the design speed, capital V, that we are seeing in all these formulas. So it is generally provided. That's the sometimes it also happens that that's the only value which is provided in the numerical. But sometimes the speed of overtaken vehicle or the slow moving vehicle, that is the speed VB, that is not provided. So in that case, if the speed is not provided in your numerical, So you can simply have this standard assumption in mind that VB is equal to V minus 16 kmph. Okay, so whatever is the design speed, if it is 100, so you have to simply subtract 16 from it, and you will be getting the value or the speed of overtaken vehicle or the slow moving vehicle. Okay, and in case if the design speed is given in meter per second, which is rarely the case, but then too, if it is given, then your small VB value will be small v, that is the design speed in meter per second, minus 4.5 meter per second. So this is important. And if you have not written the formulas yet, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to just write down the formulas. They are simple. If you have written in the previous lectures during the explanation, so it's good. But those who have not written or who have missed the lectures, so for them, just write down the formulas, because we will be using these in the one numerical that we'll be solving today, one or might be two. So write down quickly. I'll wait for a minute. Okay, so I hope you have written the formula. So we'll go ahead. Now, before actually proceeding to the numerical, there are quite a few terms which are related to this overtaking side distance that we'll be seeing shortly. So we have seen what is OSD. Now there is something called overtaking zone. So few points related to OSD. So whatever OSD or the formula we use of D1, D2, D3, and then OSD is equal to D1 plus D2 plus D3. So the value that we get of OSD, that's the minimum overtaking side distance. Okay, so in numericals, if they simply ask what's the minimum overtaking side distance, so that is nothing but the OSD value that we calculate from the formula. And now there are some cases you can consider in this overtaking side distance or the minimum overtaking distance. So if you have a two-lane undivided carriageway, now you all know what's a carriageway. We have covered this in the cross sections, elements of highway cross sections in the same unit. So a carriageway, it is undivided. That means if you have this as the main carriageway, it's a top view. So it's undivided. That is, if there is a two-way traffic on it, so there is no median in between. You just have a road marking this dotted line, and then you have a traffic in up direction and down direction. So that's the meaning of undivided carriageway. And divided carriageway is nothing but you have a median, okay? The one which we call divider in plain sense. So that divider is nothing but the median, the technical term for it. So that median is present on the road. So there is a barricade for both the movements. So that is the divided carriageway. So now coming to this first point, if you have a two-lane undivided carriageway, so again, two-lane undivided means this is the case. You just have a road marking and you have been given a two-way traffic. So two-way traffic means up and down direction both are there and it's undivided. So in that case, your OSD value will consider all the three components. That is the first one, D1, which is related to the reaction time, D2, which is the actual overtaking operation, related to overtaking operation, and D3 is the component related to the oncoming vehicle or the vehicle in opposite direction. Now, if you see the second case, so you have a two-lane road again, but this time it's divided carriageway. Okay, so it's this case, the first one. So divided carriageway, if you see, there is a barricade in between. So if you just apply a logic or think for a while, So what are the components of your OSD? It's D1, D2, D3. And if you consider that D3 component, it's the component when you have a oncoming traffic. And in this case also, the first case, you have an oncoming traffic, but there is a variegation in between because it's a divided carriageway. So in this case, even if the overtaking operation is going to take place in suppose this lane, so in that case, only two vehicles will be involved. One will be the slow moving vehicle and another will be the fast moving. There will be oncoming vehicle, but it is having a variegation, a solid variegation. So there will not be interference of the opposite direction traffic with each other. Okay? So that's the difference in this two-lane divided carriageway and two-lane undivided carriageway, both having two-way traffic. Or in the second case, if you have a single lane road but with a one-way traffic. So what I'm trying to say is for these two cases, for two-lane divided carriageway, two-way traffic, and for single lane road with one-way traffic, you don't have the D3 component. Whatever OSD you calculate, that is only it comprises of D1, that is the distance related to reaction time, and D2, which is the distance related to the actual overtaking operation. And you see, you don't have a third component here. So the D3 is missing only because there is no reason or there is no interference of the two vehicles which are traveling in opposite direction. And in single lane one-way traffic, so there is no second direction itself because it's a one-way road. So if that is the scenario which is given in a numerical, so be very careful in reading the numerical. Just don't see the values, but see the end statement, what is asked. So many a times they confuse you or they try to trick you by just giving such kind of terms, that is two lane divided, two lane undivided, two-way traffic, one-way traffic, or a no entry road. So if you see all these terms, then apply accordingly. The only difference will be in some cases D3 will be absent, and what are the cases where you don't have any interference in traffic of opposite directions. And in case of a divided carriageway with four or more lanes means if suppose this is a divided carriageway, this is a median in between, and on both the sides you have two lanes each. Now, so in this case, there is no requirement of OSD. Okay, it's not necessary to provide OSD when you have four or more lanes. So here I have shown four lanes. This is lane number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Two lanes are dedicated for up direction, and the other two lanes are dedicated for the down direction. Okay, so if I go on adding lanes, if I make here 3 lanes or 4 lanes, so for multi-lane highways, it is generally not necessary to provide OSD because multi-lane highways, the vehicle, the overtaking vehicle, or we can say the fast-moving vehicle which is there. So the fast-moving vehicle will be having an option to either go by the left lane or right lane. Either if the vehicle, slow-moving vehicle is using lane number 2, so the fast-moving vehicle can pass through lane number 1 or vice versa. So in that case, there is actually no need for providing the OSD. So maybe this type of question may be asked in your competitive exams or GATE as well, that they might give you all the values of design speed and overtaken vehicle and all those things, but at the end they might give you that it's a 4-lane or a multi-lane highway. So in that case, it's not really necessary to find out that OSD. But if in options, if you have all the values, all 4 options as values, then you can find it. It's same case as the second one, in which you have D1 plus D2 because there is no interference between the opposite direction traffic. Okay, so these are the points to remember related to the lane system and the lane configuration and the traffic flow, whether it's two-way or one-way. And then there is something called overtaking zone. Now, what I told you, OSD is the minimum distance which is visible to the driver while the driver is driving the vehicle on the road and trying to overtake. But in some cases, it's not possible due to some constraints. It may be a topography constraint, or it may be a constraint of the road width as well, that you don't have that much road width to provide a 2-lane road. So maybe in that cases where OSD or providing OSD is not possible, okay? So their overtaking zone is provided. So these are provided when OSD cannot be provided, and these are the zones which are dedicated only for overtaking operation. Okay? And this overtaking zone is a wider region, or its width is more as compared to the main carriageway, which is coming and going on both the sides. And this overtaking zone, there is something called desirable length and there is something called minimum length. So desirable length of this overtaking zone, it's 5 times your OSD value that you have calculated. And for minimum length, it's 3 times the OSD value. So it's just the, like we had seen for the stopping side distance, that intermediate side distance is twice your SSD value. So similar way, for overtaking zone, desirable length is 5 times and minimum length is 3 times the OSD value. And if you draw a pictorial representation of this overtaking zone, so it will look something like this. Now here I have shown a curved road. It may not be a curved, it may be a straight road without any horizontal change in horizontal alignment. But what you have to see is this is the main carriageway which is there. This is a typical configuration for two-way road. It's an undivided road. So maybe in this case, if you can't provide an overtaking side distance due to the curve constraint, so in that case we have something called this overtaking zone, which is this wider portion that you can see. Okay, so the width is more, and if you see the distances, whatever OSD you calculate, so that OSD you can see at 4 locations. Now these 4 locations are nothing but, if you see closely, it's S1. This is S1 in case you are not able to see. This is S2. This is again S2. And this is S1. So S1 and S2 is nothing but, S1 is the starting point of your overtaking zone, or starting point of the overtaking zone, and S2 is the end point of the overtaking zone. In short, if you can also say that at S1 you will be having one signboard, and at S2 you will be having another signboard. So S1 signboard will say that overtaking zone is starting, and S2 signboard will say that overtaking zone has ended. So for the right side direction, if you see, so I encounter a board at this S1 location. This is the board, and from this location to the location where the width of the road has increased, so that distance is the OSD that you have to provide. So in short, wherever you provide these zones, so before the start point of the zone, you have to provide a signboard which will say overtaking zone is started. So that signboard should be at a distance of OSD before the start of the overtaking zone, or where the width changes. And for this right side direction, it will end at this location. So S2, this one, this signpost will be saying that the overtaking zone has ended for right side. You see, then too there is a distance for which you have a same width or greater width. So that is because there is a left side traffic as well on this road. So for this left side traffic, the starting point of the overtaking zone will be this S1. So that's why you have 2 values of S1. And again, similar, before the start of that S1 board will be placed at a distance of OSD before the start of the point where the width of your road increases. And then it will go on, and for that road, or for the left going vehicles, or in this picture you can see it left going. So for those vehicles, the zone will end at S2 location. And whatever is this actual zone, or the length for which you have a greater width, so that is equal to 3 or 4 times SSD. So 3 or 4 times SSD means it's your it's your minimum length and desirable length of your overtaking zone. So 3 and 4 times, 5 times OSD is that value. So this is the concept of overtaking zone. Now it's a theoretical uh, way in which they have placed this concept. But again, many of the times the site constraints are, it may be even more, the constraints will be there as compared to what they have considered here. That simply they have considered that it's a two-way traffic road or a two-lane road, but maybe there may be constraints even greater than this, that there is not much width available for this two-lane road as well. So just an example I'm showing here, that it's a road, or this road, this is an actual photograph of a road in Rajasthan. It goes from Jaisalmer to Majlar. Majlar is nothing but a small village towards the India-Pakistan border. So it's that road. It starts from Jaisalmer, goes to Majlar. So it's a single lane road. Okay, you can see on far away also you cannot see any settlement or whatsoever. It's a desert road, so there is actually no need for a two-lane road. Only military traffic and the traffic of few villages which are located on this path, they use this road. So they have given a single lane road, but the traffic on this single lane road, it's two-way. So it's not a single, though it's single lane, it's not single way traffic, it's a two-way traffic. So this width is very less, it's 3.5 meter minimum. So if you see, till here you have a 3.5 meter width, but after this location, if you see, here the width has increased. Okay, it goes up to this point. So this is nothing but the actual overtaking zone. And if you see, as you had seen in the diagram, that overtaking zone or the width was increased on both the sides, or symmetrically along the center line. But here you can see the width is increased only on one side. Okay? And the continuation of this picture is here. So it's the same arrows that I had shown there. Okay, so here your overtaking zone ends, and then again you have a 3.5 meter width road. So this was the particular case that we had encountered during the project, that overtaking zones were provided, but they were provided only on one side. You can see this is a picture taken from a moving car, so it might be a little bit blur. So it's a 3.5 meter road till here, and for this much distance, they have just provided a overtaking zone here. Okay. So this is the increased width, and this will be the total overtaking zone that I was talking about. Okay. So not necessarily always you have to provide that overtaking zone on both the directions. Maybe if you have constraints, if you know the project very well, area very well, so you can also provide the overtaking zone on one side. Now, as in this case, as I told you, it's a desert road. There's very less amount of traffic, and hardly any vehicle, or hardly over 100 vehicles pass in a day, complete day. Maybe that's also more. So for that, they have only provided one overtake, or the overtaking zone is on one side of the road. Okay. So this is the actual way that overtaking zone is provided. This is the theoretical way. I'm not saying that always they provide on one side, but it may be provided on one side. It may also be provided on both the sides. Now coming to the numerical part, now whatever formulas you had written, so a small numerical will be taking. So you can just write down read the numerical and write down the given value, that the speed of overtaking and overtaken vehicles are 70 and 40 kmph respectively. So they have given the two speeds that we need for the analysis, that is capital V is given as 70 kmph, and and VB, it is given as 40 kmph. And they have given the condition. Now this is important to understand, that it's an undivided carriageway, two-way traffic road. So undivided carriageway, so you don't have a median separation in between, you just have a marking, and it's a two-way traffic. Okay. So now by reading this line itself, you should be able to tell that OSD formula, it will be D1 plus D2 plus D3 because it's a two-way traffic and it's not divided. And the acceleration of the overtaking vehicle is given, it's 0.99 meter per second square. And they have asked three things. First, you have to calculate the OSD, overtaking side distance. So the formula will be this one. Okay. And D1, D2, these three formulas you know very well. Then you have to find the minimum and desirable length of OSD, or sorry, overtaking zone. So that we know desirable length is 5 times OSD, and your minimum length of overtaking zone is 3 times OSD. And the third thing they have asked is a sketch of overtaking zone. Now this may be asked in your SPPA exams as well. Okay. So a complete package related to the overtaking side distance they have asked. So OSD, minimum desirable length of overtaking zone, and sketch of the overtaking zone. So given values, as you know, capital V is given, VB is given, and A value is given. If you wish to use the formulas for kmph, you can go ahead with it. Those who do not wish to use the formulas for kmph and want to convert it to meter per second, so simply multiplying by the factor 5 by 18, you will be getting design speed as 19.44 meter per second, and your speed of overtaken vehicle or the slow moving vehicle as 11.11 meter per second. So starting with the first component of OSD, that is D1, the distance which is related to the reaction time. So the formula, I have raised the formulas for which take the input of speed as directly in kmph. Okay, because I had to fit all in one slide, you can use either this formula or the other one in which the meter per second values of speed are input. So D1 is 0.28 VB into T. T is the reaction time. Now that reaction time we assume it as 2 seconds. Okay. Many of the time it happens that in overtaking side distance numericals, they don't give this reaction time. So though we all know that it's 2 seconds, but you have to write down in the numerical in these steps that assuming the reaction time T is equal to 2 seconds, not just simply take the value in the formula directly. You have to write this statement. So that's I have included here. So just substituting the values, D1 is 0.28 into VB is your slow moving vehicle speed, that is 40, and reaction time is 2, that is assumed. So you get D1 as 22.4 meter. Then comes the next component of your OSD, that is D2, that is the distance traveled during the overtaking time, capital T. So for that you have again this formula, 2s plus 0.28 VB into T. Again, in order to find out this D2 value, you first need to find out the value of S, that is the spacing, and the value of T, that is the overtaking time. So S value, again I have just used the value. S we all know it's 0.7 small VB plus 6. In that case VB is in meter per second, but I am using the value, I'll be using the value of V or speed, that is in kmph. So I have just taken the factor here. So S is equal to 0.196 capital VB plus 6. Again substituting the value, capital VB is 40, so my S comes out to be 13.84. Now the second component in this formula that we require, that is the capital T, that is the overtaking time, and that's equal to under root 4s upon A. Now we know the value of S, small s, that we have calculated 13.84. We know the value of A, which is given. So just substituting the values, so T value, it comes out to be 7.47 seconds. Now those who are using the formula for meter per second, speed values where meter per second is used, so they might get a slightly different answer. That too in decimal places might be 13 point, in this case 13.01 or 13.5, something like that, or in this case it comes out to be pretty much the same, but the values will, the decimal places will vary, but whole number it doesn't vary. So very rarely, even if it varies, the places before the decimal, so it will vary by 1 or 2 meters. Okay. So now we know the value of S, we know the value of T. Okay, this S is in seconds. This is not the S for this S. Okay, just to avoid confusion. So d2 is equal to 2s plus 0.28 vb into t. Substituting the values, we get the value of d2, that's 111.34 meter. Now remains the third component, that is the distance related to the oncoming vehicle or opposite direction vehicle. So that's d3, which is equal to again 0.28 into v into t, but now the v is the design speed and t is the overtaking time. So d3 is equal to, again substituting the values, we know design speed is 70 or the speed of overtaking vehicle is 70, and the t value is the one which we calculated. Now here again, just to remind you, this 70, they have not given it as a design speed, but they have given it as a speed of overtaking vehicle or the fast moving vehicle. And in the analysis, we have seen that whatever is speed of the fast moving vehicle, we take it as the same value we take it for speed of the oncoming vehicle. So it might be the design speed or it might be the speed of the overtaking vehicle as well. So that we have been given here 70. So the value comes out to be 146.41 meter. So knowing the value of d1, d2 and d3, now all remains is just add up the values, because we'll be adding all three values because it's a two-way traffic road. There is no variegation in between or no median in between. So you will be having the third component as well. So our OSD, it comes out to be 280.15. Now those who are using the formula in which the speed values are given in or inputted in meter per second, so for them the value might have came out to be somewhere around 277.6 or something like this. So no issues, it's a 2-3 meter difference, but it's okay because we have to convert it to the overtaking zone ultimately. Okay, so that will also do, this value will also do. So now coming to the overtaking zone calculations, so the minimum length, it will be thrice your OSD. So thrice I have taken this value itself, I am not considering the second value. So that comes out to be 840.45 meter. And similarly, desirable length of overtaking zone, it's 5 times OSD. So it comes out to be 1400.75 meter. Okay, now we have calculated all the values that they have asked, the OSD value, the minimum length of overtaking zone, and the desirable length of overtaking zone. Now what remains is the sketch. So sketch, I have just shown here the one which I had explained in the theory. So this is the sketch. Now we have to just convert it or write the values instead of these places. Okay. So just by writing the values, for the right side traffic, this will be the start point or the sign post will be installed here. After 280 meters, you will be having the wider road. That wider road will continue for, now here I have written 840 to 1400.75 meter. Now this depends on the site conditions. If you have that much length available and if you don't have any roadside amenities or any other structure which will be interfering in this length, so either you can give the maximum one 1400.75 or you can give 840.45. It should, but it should be anywhere in between this value. And then again the other signpost or the end of overtaking zone signpost, it will be installed here, and then you will be having 280 meters. Similarly is the case for the left moving traffic, the first signpost here, then the overtaking side distance 280 meter, then the wider road of the same length, so that there is a symmetry in both the direction, and then again the end of overtaking zone signboard. So this is the sketch that is expected when they ask for a sketch related to the overtaking zone. So you have to show the OSD, you have to show the signpost. So remember, this S1, S2 are important. You have to show that because that indicates the start and end point of your overtaking zone. And as you can see here, the zones overtake or the wider area or wider width that is provided for the road, that is symmetrical about the center line. So it starts at the same point and it ends also at the same point. There might be instances where you need to provide overtaking zones in something this way, that there might not be an exact overlap, or exactly the start and end point might not be the different. This is again a case specific or the site specific condition. Maybe there is some structure here so that you cannot demolish. So in that case, you just shift your overtaking zone a bit. Okay, so it can be a staggered one. Okay, generally we avoid this kind of situation, but if your site conditions are very crude and the constraints are not able to be resolved, so in that case we can go for this. Otherwise we prefer this kind of overtaking zone. So this is the numerical. The second numerical, I'll just give the value or the question and you can solve it on your own, because it's pretty much straightforward. That you have to calculate the safe overtaking side distance. So in this case only OSD is asked. There is no question of overtaking zone. And the design speed now is given in this case, that is 96 kmph. And the acceleration of the overtaking vehicle, that is given again, but in kmph per second. So that comes out to be 2.5. And then they have given the condition of the lane configuration and traffic condition. That is, it's a single lane, one-way traffic. Now, again, single lane, so it's just 3.5 meter width, and you have a one-way traffic. So now if you see, you don't have an oncoming vehicle, so obviously the OSD that you need to calculate, it will be having only two components, that is D1 and D2. Okay. So the first one will be for the reaction time and second one will be for the overtaking time. So this is the given values. If I just convert it to meter per second and for acceleration in meter per second square, so these are the values, and I am assuming now we don't have the speed of overtaken vehicle or slow moving vehicle, but we have the assumption that we know standard one, that speed of overtaken vehicle, it can be considered as design speed minus 16. So that's what we are going to take. So it's 96 minus 16, so it comes out to be 80 kmph, and the reaction time comes out to be, or that we assume to be 2 seconds. Now everything is given, you have to just input the values in the formulas. That D1, it will be equal to, I am using the meter per second one here, so it will be PV into T, and then D2, it will be equal to 2S plus VB into T into capital T. I'll be for finding out the S value based on the formula 0.7 VB plus 6, and for T I will be having the value or formula under root 4S upon A. Okay. Knowing all the terms, I'll simply add on the two values D1, D2, and that will give me the overtaking side distance that is required. Okay. So we'll stop here and I'll leave it to you to solve this numerical in your notebooks. I have already told you the scenario and the formulas also you know very well. So you can just simply do the calculations. Now in the next lecture, we'll be again looking into a couple of more numericals, but those will be a bit tricky. Might be the ones asked in the previous GATE examinations and IES examinations. So we'll be covering those in the next lecture.